April, the loveologist. She's got a lesson or
Welcome to
two.
Loving Month, lovebirds. I'm April, and I will always be your favorite loveologist. Today, I want to start Loving Month off by just sharing with you how this Loving Month came about and what it's actually based on. Well, this is based on the court case of Loving versus Virginia, where Mildred and Richard Loving wanted to get married, but because interracial or intercultural marriages were not legal in the United States, they actually had to leave Virginia and go all the way to DC so that they could be married legally. What transpired after they got married was just actually horrible. They ended up one night, the police came banging. They didn't even come banging on the door. They just busted in the house, busted into their bedroom. And even though they had a marriage certificate hanging on the wall, they were still arrested. And so we contribute the ability to marry interracially in the United States to Mildred and Richard Loving because it was their court case that made everything legal on June the 12th in 1967. But here at Authentic Love, we don't just celebrate June the 12th. We celebrate the whole month in honor of not only Richard and Mildred, but all the other people who have gone before us. Many people have actually shed blood, they've lost families, all kinds of things because of these laws that would not allow people to get married to anybody they wanted to get married to. And in some states, there was, when people were just dating, they were having a lot of trouble with the law and with people around them. So, yes, this is why I call it Loving Month because we celebrate the whole month, and I named it after the Lovings. If you check in your city or in your state, you'll probably find out where there are some special events going on where other couples or groups are actually celebrating during this month as well. Because remember, I gave you a post that said that one of the most valuable things you can do if you want to be in an interracial or intercultural relationship is to be in a community of like-minded people. And that is definitely why we're opening up the private Lovebird Lounge. But let me give you a little bit more information about what happened back before 1967. Well, first of all, it wasn't the whole entire United States that needed to make this legal. There was actually only 16 states in 1967 when it became legal. There were only 16 states that actually needed to change their laws. Now, I'm actually going to share with you some more things that you're not going to find out about if you go and watch the movie. And yes, it's called The Loving Movie. There's two of them out that I know of, but I suggest that you actually watch the original one. I prefer the original one. It has a lot of detail over the new one. So yes, my suggestion is that if you're going to watch it, watch the original one. But like I was saying, and this you're not going to find out in the movie, there were actually 16 states that were still against interracial, intercultural marriage in 1967 before the law was passed. Most of these states were actually in the southern part of the United States. So if you're interested, if you have interest in knowing if your state was one of the last 16, I will put a list of those states in the comments right under this video. Another thing about the laws being passed was that there was even two states out of the 16 that didn't change their constitutions until later. The one state is North Carolina. It was 1998 before they actually changed it in their state constitution. So just think about the people living in that state and what kind of drama and trauma they had to deal with. Also, in the state of Alabama, it wasn't until the year 2000, until they made these changes in their constitution. Another thing about this that you're not going to learn in the movie, and the reason I know this is because I did a fairly extensive study on this around the second year that I did this Loving Month celebration. But another thing I found out was that there were people who worked in the jail that they put them in. Now, mind you, you're going to learn in the story that the gentleman, Richard, who was Caucasian, was actually released from jail. I think it was on the Monday after they were arrested. But the woman, who was an African American woman, was required to stay in the jail. She had to stay in the jail for quite a while. And according to some of the men who worked in the jail was actually horrible. And they were saying that the bathrooms didn't work. Well, the thing about it was not only that, but when they were arrested, she was actually pregnant. So if you can imagine her being pregnant and here in this filthy jail, all alone. Richard was gone because they had let him out. But when he got out, he was trying his best to figure out how he could get her out. He did not abandon her. So again, I don't want to just celebrate Richard and Mildred, but I want to celebrate all the people who have gone before us, because you have read a few things about what has happened to interracial couples, but let me tell you, they have gone through many things. I remember one year, and it may be 3 years back. Well, first of all, I live about an hour from one of the KKK offices here in my state. And I remember they were trying to have a rally. They did not get approved to have a rally or a parade. But in another city that's about an hour from me, somebody decided they wanted to approach a young Black woman. She was with her boyfriend at the time, and they wanted to say some of the wrong things to her. One of the men hit her, and then her boyfriend ended up getting in a fight with them. Once again, if you're interested in being in an interracial or intercultural relationship, one of the things that you've got to remember is that you got to have thick skin, and you've got to be aware of what's going on around you. But that does not decrease the love in your relationship. Let me tell you, it does not decrease the love in your relationship. But today I just wanted to share with you a few things about Loving Month, how it came about, what the foundation of it is, and why we celebrate it. If you look back in history, you will find a lot of people all the way back to slavery that were in interracial or intercultural relationships. And yes, they had to endure some things. And it is not the total norm yet. So one of the things I always teach is you want to be aware of your surroundings, and you want to make sure that you strengthen the relationship between the two of you. So let's move forward, and let me share with you some of the things that we're going to be doing this month celebrating Loving Month, because let me tell you, June is just an exciting month for me. Yes, it is. We are going to be having several discussions on various topics that a lot of people don't associate with interracial or intercultural dating, but they are things that are very prominent within these communities. We're going to talk about dating with a disability. We're going to talk about dating as a mature woman. Yes, I know some of y'all, when you think about interracial dating, you don't even think about women in their 50s, 60s, or 70s, do you? Well, you want to stick around so that you can hear how you can do this if this is something you're interested in. But you're also going to learn about the benefits of it at any age from 25 up. We're going to have just a lot of different interviews with people. We're also going to have the renowned Dr. Sonia LeRae. If you are not familiar with her, you may want to go check out her podcast, Whispers in a Bottle. But she is awesome with relationships, and we might be able to get her to share a few nuggets about how you can keep your interracial marriage going strong. Because let me tell you, she's got the wisdom, the knowledge, and the expertise. She and I actually did lots of shows together or broadcasts when we were on the platform Clubhouse, and they called us the dynamic duo. One of the reasons they call us a dynamic duo is because neither one of us shy away from tough questions that have to do with this topic. So this is going to be a wonderful time having her on the show with me. Also on June the 12th, we're going to have a very, very special interview. And you want to make sure that throughout this month, you are checking your notifications and looking at any of my posts so that you can see what is going on related to Loving Month. And before I close, I want to throw this out there to you. You may be wondering, who is this woman and what gives her the ability to speak on this subject with authority and accuracy? Well, let me just give you a little brief background on myself. Yes, I have actually dated 2 Latin Americans, a Caucasian, and married a Ghanaian. In addition to that, I also have a certification as an interracial love coach. So yes, I even have my own stories to tell, or stories that I'm going to be relating to you so that you can get the benefit and you can move through your own interracial or intercultural experiences with ease. So again, I'm going to remind you, we're going to be doing some things this month that are different than things we've done years before. We're going to have various topics we're going to talk about, and we're going to have some interviews. So make sure you're checking your notifications, my posts, and everything so that you can be a part. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to have some giveaways. And the only way you're going to be able to register for the giveaways is you're going to need to be on the show watching the replays. Our goal is to be here with you every Wednesday at 12 noon Central Standard Time. You will probably be it will probably be the easiest for you to locate us on YouTube at 12 noon Central Standard Time. So, I'm April. I'm your favorite and always will be your favorite loveologist. I'm the president and CEO at Authentic Love, where interracial relationships are our #1 priority. I'll see you next Wednesday.
April, the loveologist, she's got a lesson or two. She's a love coach, a matchmaker, making dreams come true. She's a champion.